Okay, hello. Today we're going to be doing basic and cursive capitals with the cursive lowercase. So we're going to do it's going to be kind of a compare and contrast. And I think you'll notice that unlike the round hand type things, some of the loop cursives, um, the variation between the italic print, the basic, and the cursive is pretty minimal all the way through. It's not some of those crazy Z's, woo, like that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and get started. Excuse me. Again, using my Safari pen. It's not necessarily my favorite. It's just the pen I decided to use for this round. It's got blue ink, which I think sort of helps for uh, working here. I do like black ink, but getting used to some other things. So they give you the stroke order again. One, two, three. There is an alternative, but it looks like they just, excuse me, I'm sorry, gave us a little more runway on that. So the B, again, balancing out those, balancing out the bubbles is a big deal. Whoa, that's the deal. Balancing out the circles. So we'll just continue going on, and we'll get this working here. Okay, decided to get a little off course there. I'm out of control. I'm a madman of cursive. The madman of Batman. Well, huge differences there, huh? But I think that's kind of the point. So again, just falling into the meditative practice of it. Sometimes that's an interesting thing. Whoops, a little off there, as you can see. Sometimes that's the interesting, excuse me, meditative thing about not doing words at all. They just become shapes to do because there's no other real context to it. I don't know that I'll ever break the habit of doing it one, two, three, climbing. Guess I should, but that's my vice. Happy little ease. We're just going to do happy little ease. I'll do it their way. There, I hope you're happy. Happy little ease. The two stroke's kind of interesting, the two stroke E. And that will matter in a little bit because of how you come off the E. Like you come cursively, you can come off it that way instead of on the bottom, which I think tends to make them into loops. Uh, but we'll hit that. We'll hit the joins probably tomorrow, I would think, or the next day. So I'll go ahead and do it their way. F. Notice this F, there isn't a lot of descender on it, like in some systems. I made that a little, didn't make it too straight, which I really should. I don't know, sometimes right on the, let's see, there we go. Unless I didn't close that, so I closed it after the fact, which, this one's kind of woo. I don't know about that one. I mean, that's just, it is what it is. I guess it's fluid. I just want to make sure I don't get too squirrely with it. I think that one's easy to get squirrely with. So that's a matter of self-discipline. That one has a little, thinking that with the multi-stroke, has a little extra control built into it. Wow, they kind of hammered on the cap there, didn't they? H, pretty straightforward. Though this can get a little hairy. As you remember, there are all those alternatives where they let you do the cross stroke first. And I think it's just that the T, you're free on either side of the cross stroke, which is why it works for that, where for the H where you're running into other lines, maybe not so much. But that's my thought on it. I have not had a lot of experience with trying to do the cross stroke is number 2, and it feels really unnatural. But that might be something that builds. Or with the serifs, but the cursive, you can kind of see the little Z sections in there. And dot or jot, they call jots the little, I wonder what that's, why they call it that, dot or jot, Dippin' Dots. Or, which I think is, can be a little unclear. Well, we are flying today. But I am going to, oops, I did not go to all the way to a descender. So that's my fault. So you can tease me about that. Wow, they got a lot of options there. Too many, I think. Again, I think the problem with this one is distinguishing it for I from a J, and it's really about the descender, I believe. But it just doesn't feel like that different of a shape. Now, granted, again, see, oops, that's J is a modified I, and linguistically is from what I understand. Oh, the loop K. Let's go back to the K. They have us on the looped K or straight K. You come more a straight one, or you can do that, which I just think looks better. And it's easier for me. It's really that turn that anchors me. But this is me saying the same thing. But there is some repetition in this. That's my phone just hooked up to the computer doing weird stuff. I was just trying to charge it and did the data thing. Whoop! See me talking. Look what happens. It's a Friday. Feeling a little Friday-ish. And it's later. I mean, I usually do this in the mornings, but today I'm doing it in the early evening. What is it? 17:30 hours. So, yeah. But main thing is we're here getting it done. 3-stroke end. See, I didn't. That's the problem. Got to watch that, especially since I'm going in. That's the thing. I mean, the third stroke's going in to connect right here, so you got to kind of nail it, right? You can miss. Oh, 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 not a lot of difference. Now I don't understand what the difference is here. Is that just the more oval? That makes, ooh, see, I was worrying about it, so I went crazy. And P really just with the little extra serif there. Now that's your entry serif. Of course, with a cap, you're not really going to, capital, you're not really going to enter on that, though you will on a lowercase. And that got double wind quick right there. So not a lot of difference there. And again, we've got the different Q strokes. What's that one too? That's like this. That one. That one does feel bizarre. Again, you've got a bit of a turnaround when you do it that way, so maybe that's the theory. R, R, the 2-stroke. I got it kind of 1-strokey on that, which I shouldn't have. Now this is always a thing. That can always start looking like the Aries symbol, I think. So I think it's important to be careful with that. That one just looked weird. So I think you got to be kind of careful with that R. S. Again, S. Whoa, see, I'm everywhere. But you're just, I don't know. It's just one of those that's going to take me a while. So you can do it either way, I find. But not sure which way. All right. That got a little fancy. I became a bit of a fancy lad on that. Again, not so much change, just a serif connector, because we're going to use those to connect. I mean, not the entrance. That's I think just for style to make the style consistent. W. Now notice it's not the architectural W can be straight up and down, where this is angled. But those are different hands. That's not really for here. We are just taking care of the basics. And I am not an authority on this in the slightest. All right. Go ahead and stretch that hand out. Okay. X. Very straight X here. It's the X with serifs, but again, I can kind of tend to do that. So it's just something to control for me. Notice there, I started too hot. Interesting. Now this one does, this X does have an up. I mean, it's one of the letters that has an upstroke like that. Oops. So you can get out of control there too, getting fancy where you just wind up doing that. Kind of fun and fluid, but not really the best move. I think I did that backwards too. I think they prefer where I did. Should look into that a little more. That's one of those I'm going to have to look into a little more. The mystery of the Y. Straight Z. Sorry, Z for you Brits. And then when one was serifs, another one was serifs. I tend to do that turnaround with them. You certainly don't have to. And that's it. So that's about only about 13 minutes. It was a quick one today, I think. But I think this is a good one because we're going to go into joins. And we were kind of shooting for 15 to 20 minutes. It's not phoning it in, though. We did it. And that's the thing. And some days are just a little easier than others. Some days are a little more in depth. I do suggest if you're hankering for more writing, uh, just use a journal, and we can discuss that. But a journal is a good place just to practice your writing because this is kind of drills, and then there's that full language just writing practice, as opposed to or writing writing practice, but not drills. So anyway, thanks for showing up, and we're going to do this again. I think we're getting better.